Welcome back to the realest channel on YouTube, and today is just the first time you're gonna see me talking on my own channel anyway in a bit more depth about the recent fight between Anesongib and Jake Paul. Wasn't the result we were going for. We didn't get a chance to execute any part of the game plan we was working on during camp, and I'm just gonna go in a little bit more depth and speak about the behind the scenes that only I would have been privy to alongside the team members, and just get all this speculation out of the way. So yeah, camp was going well for Gib. He started camp in the UK with my dad, as you would have seen in one of his videos. My dad said, listen, this guy's tough, he's got durability, his fitness, he's got the mentality of a fighter, which is still remains in my eyes. It still remains in my eyes. Just because you get hit with a good shot, or and you lose your equilibrium and then your opponent follows up, doesn't mean you don't have a fighter spirit. We've seen that with multiple world champions and elite fighters in history, and we'll continue to see that. But by the time he came out to Vegas, Gib is already in tremendous condition cardio wise. He trains every day, Monday to Friday with Leon. Fight announcement or no fight announcement, that's just his lifestyle. So going into camp, we knew he'd be on the cardio side, he'd be more than ready to fight. Even if the fight was sprung on him in 2 weeks time, he'd be ready. So throughout camp, cardio was never the issue. Amazing cardio. We tested him in the mountain, we've tested him on the wind bike, we've got him to do challenges that professional fighters will do, and he got better results than them. So that was great. He did have difficulty in the beginning part of the camp in Vegas anyway, trying to nail the original game plan which I set for him, which was to be more patient, not be as wild, use his jab more, try and draw Jake onto him, because Jake is very good at boxing on the back foot. That's Deji forced him to box on the back foot at points whenever Deji decided to attack. But from the clips, his most recent sparring sessions, he looked good on the back foot. He looked comfortable. So I wanted to try and draw him out to come forward to see if there would be more openings available for us. Now that was the initial game plan. That wasn't going how we wanted it to. So we said, Gib, do what you know how to do. You have to remember, we're working with novice fighters. This is my friend that I'm talking about, and I'm being honest with you guys, we're working with novice fighters. So there's only so many game plans they'll be able to perform within the time period of a training camp. It takes years to be able to adjust on the fly and make changes to your training, and in terms of your style and adjustments. You have to be in the sport for a certain period of time before you can be comfortable to do these things. So I said, you know what, this isn't working, time is running out and this isn't working, so let's do what but refine it a little bit. We've seen in his previous fights, and he attempted to do on Thursday night, which is pressure. So me and Leon, we said, you know what, cool, if you want to do pressure, let's do pressure. Let's make that our thing, pressure. But we need to tighten up your defense, because if you are as wild as you were against Max and Jay Swingler, you're gonna get hit. So the rest of the camp became working on the mechanics, which you would have seen in one of my previous videos, and working on his defense. During camp, he sparred professional fighters who tested him. Obviously they connected, they hit him hard, head and body. He sparred 9 rounds plus, throwing tons of punches every round, and we were happy with where he was going into the fight. When we let him be himself and kind of just added a few things on, he was happier, he was engaging more, he seemed to be more on the same page as us, which is what every coach wants their fighter to be, and how every coach wants their fighter to feel, I should say, is that they're working together and they're gelling and connecting. So I was happy, you know. Then we fast forward now to fight week. It was the sharpest I've seen him. Normally on the pads I have to give out a few instructions in order to get the right things out of him, but without even talking, the blocking was on point, he was slipping, he was rolling. You know, you could see that the essence of the sport, which is to hit and not get hit, it seemed to have finally sunk in to Gibbs' mind, and he was acting on it. And I was extremely proud, and the team were extremely proud of how he just continued to blossom throughout the training camp, to a point where we're like, yeah, it's just go time now, we're war ready, let's battle. So on the fight night was sharp and everything, he felt good, you know, he's been eating well. And we go into the fight. The game plan was aim for the chest. That was the game plan, aim for the chest. We know you're the shorter man, and we know that the head can be far away, and you can overreach sometimes to aim for someone who's taller. You can overreach aiming for their head. So the plan was to aim neck down. He knew that was the plan, but you got to remember the level, the occasion, the reality of we are actually here now. This isn't hype, this isn't promotion, this isn't views on YouTube. It's a professional boxing match. So all of that tied in, of course you're going to be nervous, of course it can be an overwhelming experience. Even for people that have done it for years, can become overwhelmed. We go into the fight now, opening bell. He comes out low. A lot of people have criticized the fact that he was low, but he was avoiding the punches in the first minute of the fight. Well, before that right hook landed on his temple, he was ducking the punches and having Jake miss, which is phase one. But what was missing was the attack. And I don't know who said it, someone said it on the commentary, if you're gonna be coming into range, you gotta be throwing. And that's the bit that cost him the fight, in my opinion, was that he found Jake in terms of the range, but he wasn't letting his hands go. So there was something made him reluctant to throw, and it gave Jake time. Credit to Jake, looked very composed under Gibbs' pressure. He was using his jab. He set out knowing what he was gonna do. He knew he was gonna pop his jab out immediately, and he did. So Jake was very composed, and the only way we was gonna change that, which was with the pressure, with the head movement, and with the punches neck down. Give aim for his head straight away. You know, adrenaline's pumping, the crowd, you're finally there, you walk over, you know you got the pro gloves on, you see this no head guard, and he made a mistake. He was aiming for the head, and he ducked. His hands weren't in a wrong position, but he ducked and took one on the temple. And from that moment I saw Gibbs' face change. I knew he wasn't comfortable with the fact that that punch had landed. I knew at that point, we need to get him back to the corner, we need to sit him down, and we need to get through to him so he can calm his nerves down, because right now he's very hyped. And I knew after that first right hook, his head was a little bit red on the side. I said, all right, cool. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, cool, he's a little bit thrown off by that. Let's see how he settles into the rest of the round. Obviously he gets dropped, and after the first drop, you can see when I watched the fight back, I didn't see this on the day, but when I watched the fight back, you could see his face, the way he was breathing. You could tell that the shot did hurt, and the shot did rock him, and good shot. It was a very good punch from Jake. The commission did warn us beforehand. It's a non-title fight. Florida State Commission rules states 3 knockdowns in 1 round and the fight is automatically stopped, whether you are ready to continue or not. Many people were saying, oh, they weren't real knockdowns or they weren't proper knockdowns, despite and then there was also obviously the thousands of people that were saying, oh, you know, he got dropped, etc, etc. But there was a large community and a large group of people that were saying, but they weren't actual knockdowns, especially the second one when Gib fell down, kind of fell into the ropes. And boxing, if I make any sort of contact with you and you touch down, it is a knockdown. You don't have to get knocked down like JJ did against Logan for it to be a knockdown. If I contact you and you drop, it's a knockdown. Simple as that. And that happened, and by the time we knew it, the fight was done. Jake performed well. I always give credit where it's due, regardless of who I'm supporting and where my heart is with my friends. If he performed well, he performed well, and credit to him for that. And a lesson learned from the coaching side is just not to let people fight at their least optimum weight. I know Gib spoke himself into the position to get the fight against Jake, and Jake is a bigger person naturally than him. Jake's more my size than he is Gib's size, and Gib was eating up the whole camp to stay within the weight category. They agreed to fight at 188 to 193. If Gib was eating the amount that he was comfortable to eat, he would have definitely went down to 183, 184, you know, but well, maybe even 192. With the amount of training he was doing, if he ate to a point where he was comfortable, he would have been around those numbers, not 188 or 190 or anything like that. He had to eat up to make the weight. Nearly every professional fighter in the world diets to make the weight category that they fight at. Seeing Jake during the fight week, I could tell he cut weight to make that weight category. He looks like he naturally walks around about 205, maybe 200, and he had to cut maybe 10 pounds, 15 pounds to make the weight, which is why he was firm, strong, in good shape, could throw with good power, because he dieted to make the weight, whereas we was eating Gib up to make sure he could even stay in the same weight category. So from a coaching perspective, it's a thing where I need the guys to fight at their optimal weight. With the white collar boxing and the head guards, okay, maybe we can be more lenient. But with the professional game, I don't care whether you speak yourself into a position to fight or not, you have to fight at your optimal weight, because your punch resistance changes. If Gib and Jake were more similar in weight come the fight night, maybe those punches wouldn't have had as much effect. I think by the time Gib got in the ring, he would have weighed less than he weighed in on the scale, because after the warm-up, after the nerves, you know, no one really eats that much on fight day. He probably got in the ring about 186, and Jake, after the weigh-in, would have stacked up with an 8 and replenished himself from whatever he dieted down. So he probably got in the ring closer to 200. Gibbs weighing about 186. That's a big difference in weight, and of course, you know, if you get hit with a 10-ounce glove by a bigger man, it's gonna have its effects. So a lot of people will disregard that and not take that, put it into context, or take into account that weight difference on the night could have been that drastic. But you know, things happen. I'm extremely proud of Gib to put himself in a position that he did. You know, Jake being the superior YouTuber in terms of numbers, subscribers anyway, and just overall being a bigger personality, Gib managed to do very well to promote himself into a position to fight Jake, and that should never be frowned upon. He got paid really well, he got great promotion, he gained nothing but popularity, a whole new fan base. I only can be proud of him. I never thought for 1 second when I met Gib he would be able to say that he'd have a professional fight. I never ever thought that. He was just this round chubby guy who was just willing to lose weight And if someone would have told me 4 years ago he would have a professional fight, I'd think they're bluffing. But he proved me wrong, and I'm nothing but proud of him. Now, saying all of that, on Thursday last week, that was my final coaching appearance. Starting with the guys in 2017 and coaching up until 2020, January 2020, I have had my fair share of coaching. It's an honor to be in the position that I am. It's amazing to hear all the positive feedback and all the positive reception that I get for what I've done for the guys. And I appreciate the community more than the people can understand, more than many can understand. I really appreciate what this community has done for me and the platform it's allowed me to have to build and use for my own career. I won't be walking away from anyone. I'll still be making my videos with JJ, Gib, Harry, etc. I'll still be with the whole team. I'm just not looking to coach. I need to build up my record, I need to be active in the ring, and I need to continue to pursue my childhood dream, which is to be a world champion one day. People will say, oh, what if KSI decides to fight Jake? There is many coaches in the world, world-class coaches that know more about boxing than me, that will be able to help JJ, and I'll still be there to support. And anytime he messages me or he needs a tip or he feels like only I can get through to him, of course I'll be there. But I need to prioritize my career. I've been prioritizing the other guys, and you know, it's been amazing. But yeah, it's time for me to knuckle down and do what I need to do. I think that's it. Like, I don't think I have much else to say today. You know, it's not nice to speak about the negatives. It's not nice to speak about losing. It's not good to be in a losing position. But the same way I react when we win is the same way I react as a defeat. It's just what true men and athletes do. And one last congratulations to Jake. Sending all my love to Give as always in the UK. Now I'm in Vegas in camp. And keep subscribing. Keep hitting the like button. Keep turning on your notifications. Keep heading to isitreal.com and copying your clothing. And Spotify, Apple Music. Heading over there to listen to the Living Sports chapters. And we'll see me back in the ring soon. February 28th on Showtime in Las Vegas. Ready to start my career again. So if you know what I do at the end of the video, it's that time. Boom!